I actually have a good story. Um, the very first day of shooting, they wanted to do a two-pass camera shot with a motion control camera of the airplane going right over the camera. And then they were going to do the second pass of people diving out of the way. They weren't going to have real people next to the airplane careening over the camera, because it's an enormous machine. And they lined it. Tugged the aircraft over, and it's sitting there, and it's big. It's 3 stories tall, and it's a 200 something foot wingspan. It's a big airplane, and they're setting the camera up on the ground, and it's like I'm looking at the camera on the ground, and this is Boss Films, the motion control, the visual effects, their camera, their equipment. We really have nothing to do with it, right? So I'm just kind of watching. I'm watching what they're doing. And I look over and I get a tape measure and I measure the top of the camera and it's like, oh, that's like 42 inches, And then I go over and I measure the bottom of the engine and I'm going, well, that's like 56 inches or, whatever it was. It was low. And then I kind of measure the track of the airplane away from the wheels. Well, that's only like 7 feet from the wheels. And I'm looking at that going, is this thing in danger at all? I mean, do we need to worry about this thing? We got a jet engine, just feet from it, in a 400,000 pound airplane or whatever it was going to, go, and I said, is this in danger? Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. I said, yeah, I don't know. I mean, is there going to be a jet blast coming out of there's a jet engine right there. It's going to go right over the top of it. Oh, no, it's fine. Well, let's bring the pilot down. So they get the stairs that go up 3 stories, and the pilot comes out and comes all the way down the stairs, and he's giving a bunch of tech talk. We got the aviation guy with us, and they're saying, "Oh no, we'll be spooling down, and it'll be cold stream, and it won't be." It's like, okay, I'm looking at this, going, should we put up a blast deflector? I mean, just a little plywood structure. I mean, it can easily make one. And I'm like, hey guys, let's build a blast structure. I need it this high. I'm not having them build it, right? And I'm saying, should we do this? No, I think we're fine. We'll be okay. And I'd sit there, and this is taking a long time. And I'm like looking at it going, you sure you don't want to do this? I mean, I just have it. It's easy. It's right over here. I can just bring it in and just put it down, little blast structure, just in case. No, Pat, they say we're fine. You sure? Because it says, it's right here. It'll just take a second. I bring it in, won't get in the way, won't hold anything up. I can just put it. Pat, we're fine. They said we're fine. We're fine. Okay, done. You sure we shouldn't? I mean, I'm really pushing this. Finally, I get the shut the hell up. We got it. We're fine. They said we're fine. Okay, right? And I turn around. All my stunt guy friends were sitting on one of the tailgates. I go, watch this. We're about to eat a camera, right? And so everybody gets back, they push the 747 back a couple 100 yards, and it's back over near the control tower, and there's a bunch of trees around the control tower. And we had like Malibu lights lighting up the trees, and we had staked them into the ground, right? And they spool this jet up, and they're, put the power to it. They're blowing the lights out of the ground. They're going and they're like flying off into space. The trees are. And we're going, oh my God. And this thing goes over the top of the camera. And it looked to me like, a stack of Dixie cups getting hit by a fire hose. The camera just disintegrated. It just went, blew into a million pieces. There's film and pieces of the camera tumbling off onto the tarmac. Completely gone. Destroyed. It's $1 million camera. Gone. Because it's like a VistaVision motion control thing. Gone. Wow. I mean, not 2 pieces put together. And I turned around and took a bow. I went, what did I say? They were not happy about that. And so the next night, Michael Ballhaus, the DP, comes up and he goes, Pat, I go, yes, sir. He goes, we're going to do that shot again. I went, oh, okay, great. And he said, what camera was it? We're going to use my camera. I said, you want a blast deflector, don't you? He goes, yes, we do. And we put up a blast deflector and it was fine. So, and then the cap to this story is 8 or 10 months later, I get a phone call from an insurance adjuster that's calling me saying that, Boss Films is putting in $1 million claim for the loss of their MoCo system in their camera. And he's saying, well, they were asking for a blast deflector and you refused to do it. I went, really? I said, I can introduce you to about 35 people who were standing around where I was arguing for one. Two of them are producers, and I was told to sit down, and I never heard from them again.
Wow.
So, yeah, they were trying to claim that I had refused to do the work, this Boss Films. So pretty shitty because I certainly wasn't, but yeah, crazy. But that was the first night of shooting, and then we
Wow.
went on, and it was a great film. Harrison's a great guy to work with. He's just one of those guys that shows up to work ready to work. He's there to, at one point, I think he chipped a tooth and broke a finger doing one of the fights, and the stunt coordinator, Doug Coleman, was the stunt coordinator, great guy. And Doug went to Harrison and said, "Hey, why don't we get Billy to, I got a double. Let's let Billy take some of the hits." And Harrison says, "Are you kidding? For 20 million bucks, they can turn me inside out." You know. So that's who he was. He was just one of those guys who was there to make the movie. It was kind of fun.
I've heard stories about Harrison Ford wanting to do a lot of his own stunts.
Yeah,
To the point.
he's into making the movie. He wants to make the movie, and I mean, I think he's slowed down some. He's 75 years old, or I don't know how old he is, but I mean, he just doesn't not into that anymore. But he's a good guy. He was a good guy to work with.